I think we're live now on the old MacBook Pro camera. Just breathe, John. Just breathe. That's all you have to do. I don't know why my camera does this to me and now the microphone is misbehaving. It's just really dumb. And I will not tolerate this MacBook Pro camera. I had everything perfect. And then we clicked go live. Oops, I'm looking at the wrong camera. And then this happened. Oh well, I guess this is how we're doing it. So much fun. Oh boy. You know what? Listen, folks. I gotta look at the right camera. I've had me a day. It's been a day. It was supposed to be such a good day today. I can't even talk about all of it because we have something coming up. A thing we're going to be doing on this channel. I don't even know where the camera is on this iMac. I assume, or not iMac. Yep, there it is. MacBook Pro. We have some, no, I can't have you right now, baby kitty. She wants to make me feel better. So we have this thing that's coming up that we're going to do that I cannot tell you how excited I am about it. No, it's not a new tank. I just can't talk about it. I'm going to make an announcement about it in a video in like 3 Sundays from now is when it will be announced officially. And no, it's also not that we're getting more cats. That's when I'm going to do the announcement about it. And I'm very excited. In fact, I was filming the video to announce it today, along with some other stuff that I was filming today for videos. And I was so excited because this thing that's happening in a few weeks it's so excited. It's so exciting. It has reinvigorated things for me. And so I felt good today going into making videos. And I still want to make this camera work. So Lisa left early this morning because there was a doctor's appointment for our granddaughter that she wanted to be at. And so she left first thing in the morning, and I'm like, all right, I have no interruptions, which, I mean, Lisa doesn't usually interrupt me when I'm making videos anyway, but it's like I got a day to myself, and I can just make my videos, and today's going to be a good day. I filmed what I wanted to film, well, most of what I wanted to film today, and it was going well. I was like, man, this is turning out to be exactly the way I wanted it to be. It was one of those situations where every shot I got, the fish were cooperating. Carl did a couple of funny things. It was like, this is a great day. And then my camera stopped because it said the card is full. I said, okay, no big deal. I decided to take the card into the house and dump the card into my computer. I used to have 2 cards. I lost one. I think it's Lisa's fault. But I lost one, and so I have to just dump this one whenever it gets full and then start all over again. Well, I went to dump it, and you can't do this to me tonight. I love you, bye. And I realized that the audio was all jacked up on like half of the footage that I got. I'm like, all right, well, I got to scrap all of that. So I scrambled to come back out here, filmed those parts again, didn't get it all done, had to get some dinner, had to take the orders to the post office and to UPS. And then I got back here. We got a shipment today from Tropica. I had to get that put away. I didn't get it all put away. I'm going to have to finish it up after the stream tonight, and then I had to set up all of this and come out here, and then it doesn't work. So it's been a day. Usually, when things are crazy, Lisa's here to help me calm myself down. She's not here today. I don't have my whoopee here with me today. But hey, it's all good. We're here now. Third time is a charm. So here we go. We're gonna make do with what we've got, and I don't know what I'm gonna have to do to fix the situation. Stop streaming. Because this quality right here is the stuff that comes out of the backside of a dog. This quality right here, the microphone, the camera, it's terrible. So, I mean, it's just been a day. I'm frustrated, but I'm here now. This is going to be fun. We're going to make the best of it. We're going to have all kinds of fun talking fish tonight. One of the first things that I wanted to mention was that we did get the big shipment from Tropica today. Very excited about that. I have had a couple of emails that have asked, how come you don't get certain plants sometimes? A great example, all of the crypts. All of the crypts that Tropica offers. How come you don't have crypts on the site? I'm actually going to look at something right now. I just got, when the stream started, the new list of what is available. So I'm going to look at this, and we'll see if crypts are on there. The problem is not us. The problem is Tropica, and I don't mean to say that like Tropica's a problem. What I'm saying is, if the plants aren't available to us, we can't get them. Wait a minute. Oh, I've never been so excited in my life. Today has turned out to be an amazing day. Lisa Marie, I know where you are right now. You're probably not watching this, but when you do watch this, when you're on your way home, all of the crypts are in. So here's the deal. Every single week, Tropica sends us a list of what they have available. And for the last 6 weeks, they have not had any crypts available. But today, finally, they sent me the list. We have the crypt broadleaf, the Petchii, Lisa's favorite, Wentii, that's how I say it, Wentii tropica. That is so exciting. You have no idea how exciting this is. I am so thrilled. And then, let's see, do we have the Lindernia? They do not have. So anyway, what I was trying to get at was, if we don't have it on the site, it's because we're either waiting for some to come in or Tropica doesn't have them available. They're growing these things as fast as they can, and if they can't produce them, they can't send them out to us. So it's not that we choose not to get them, it's just that they don't have them available. But we did get a big shipment in today. So if you've been going on the site, I literally got them put into our inventory 5 minutes before this stream started. So they're on there now. If you have been waiting for us to get back the inventory of Tropica, it's there. It's not like we were out of everything, but we were out of a lot of stuff from Tropica. So that's very exciting. I will be putting in the order as soon as this stream is over with, because it's also a first come, first serve type thing. So if we don't get our order in time, then we don't get them. So anyway, it's a very exciting thing for me, because crypts are some of my favorites, and it's nice to be able to finally get them back in. A couple other things going on. Well, there's Aquashella. 2 weeks from today, right? I think that's right. 2 weeks. I don't need you to help me come and look at my calendar. I got it. Yeah, 2 weeks from today, we will be flying out to Dallas. Lisa and I both will be going. We got our plane tickets yesterday. So that is I mean, you know, we were always going to be there, but we didn't have our tickets yet. But now we do. So we're ready to go. Thank you. And the Aquatic Expo in Charlotte coming up June 9th and 10th. Come on, girl. I love you. What you don't see is Carl is laying on a box right next to me here. Got to pick up the whole laptop. He's laying on the FX2 box, sound asleep. Isn't that silly? That's Carl for you. I done messed my wires all up. June 9th and 10th. Yes. 9th, 10th, and 11th. Is it a 3-day event or a 2-day event? I think it might just be a 2-day event. Don't quote me on that. We will be there. Charlotte, North Carolina. Very excited about that. It is... what was I going to say about it? I don't know. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about it. And this cat is going to, as sweet as she is, she's going to drive me crazy. You think I'm here tonight to sit with you, but I'm not. So that's really all of the announcements that I have. I have a cat that is driving me crazy. I love you. Go away. Go way over there. Way over there. So, what do we want to talk about tonight? I saw that Melissa Jeswald, yeah, I am completely out of sorts here tonight because nothing is going the way I expected it to go. Melissa Jeswald came in before the stream started because she wanted to help me out. She knew I was going to be struggling today, and she said, do you have a holy grail fish that you haven't owned yet? I'm setting this up to be fishy. Anybody that knows me, Melissa Jeswald, you know me, and you probably know my answer to this already, but you wanted to get the conversation started, and I appreciate that. It is an Asian arowana of any variety. Of course, the crown jewel, the holy grail, the, you know, like, in a perfect world scenario, it would be super red. Super red arowana would be the one. That is the most unbelievable fish I've ever seen. Freshwater, saltwater. When you see, I've never seen one in person. The Shed Aquarium has what I think is an Asian arowana. It's on the little plaque that they have next to the aquarium. But it didn't really look like one, and it was way back. It was like hiding in this cave in the back corner of the tank, and you couldn't really see it. So I didn't count that as being when I saw my very first Asian arowana. I've never even seen an Asian arowana in person, ever. And I've been doing this a long time. Now I know that there are people out there. I've even had somebody tell me, I can get you one, you know. And I said, I don't think I want to do that. Now, in conversations that I've had with people, they've said, I don't want to be the one that the police come to my house to take my fish away from me. I've never heard of that happening. That doesn't mean it hasn't happened. I think if you have the fish, I don't think people are going to come knocking on your door. It's not like you have a house full of some type of illegal drug or something like that. But where I think it would be a struggle is getting it across the border. But apparently there are people that already have them across the border and can sell them or whatever. I'm not much worried about people knocking on my door wanting to arrest me for having a particular fish. However, Lisa and I make our living on YouTube. And technically, as stupid as it is, and as dumb as our government is for not allowing us to have those fish, or whether it's the Asian government or the combination of the two, I don't know. Whoever it is that forbids us from having those fish, I don't want to like show that and be like, yeah, here it is, I have it, and technically be breaking the law on YouTube. I mean, there's a lot of people that do a lot worse things than that on YouTube, but I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be constantly worried that, you know, the man is going to be coming and knocking on my door. So unless, look at that light, I got to cover that up. It's not usually this angle. I got to cover it up with my head. Yeah, I don't see it ever happening unless they change the rules. But you know what? I love silver arowanas, so if that's all I can ever have, then that's fine. If I had an Asian arowana, again, of any variety, I don't care what color it is, there's no way I wouldn't show it on YouTube. I mean, there's a reason why when you watch a video from the King of DIY, you're going to see his Asian arowana in just about every video he does, because they're one of the most popular fish in the hobby, and he likes to flex on all of his American fans that he's allowed to have one and we're not. I hate him for that. I'm so jealous of him that he can have the fish that I'm not allowed to have. But anyway, that would be my holy grail fish for sure. If we take that out of the equation, I would say it is probably the Leopoldi stingray, the black diamond variety of the Leopoldi stingray. That's not illegal. That's something I could go buy today if I wanted to. I've seen them in person. I've seen them in stores for sale. But my thing is this. If I'm going to spend anywhere from $500 and up for a fish, it's going to be to bring that fish back, bring it here, and put it in the most perfect setup specifically for that fish. Now, we have a tank coming. It's being built as we speak by Custom Aquariums. That one would be pretty close, but I still don't think that would be what I would want it to be for a fish of that value. Not that because it costs more from a cost standpoint or price standpoint makes it more worthy of being treated better. I don't mean it like that. I just mean, if I'm not going to have somewhere to put that fish that's perfect for it, I'm not going to bother getting it. Listen, I'm going to tell you the truth right now. This is going to shock you, I know. I can't afford a Lamborghini. I can't go buy a Lamborghini right now. But if I could, I wouldn't. If I won the Powerball tomorrow, which is impossible because we never play, and I had $100 million that I could do whatever I wanted to do, okay, yeah, I'd buy 3 or 4 of them. But I don't have a garage. I'm not going to buy, if I won the lottery, I would not buy a $500,000 car and have it sit outside in the North Carolina heat and rain. We don't get a ton of rain, but this time of year we do. The hurricanes. I'm not going to have a $500,000 car sitting out in my driveway for everybody to drive by and see. No. So you don't get a car like that, or even a car that's not a Lamborghini, but like a super fancy Mustang or a Corvette or something like that, which I can't get either of those either. I'm not going to get a car like that unless I have a garage to put it in. I'm not going to get a Stingray like that unless I have the perfect environment to put it in. So, we know you have 2 Lamborghinis. Yeah, right. Lamborghini Matchbox cars, maybe. Lamborghini's coming out with a new, they've, I guess, moved on from the Aventador, and they come up with a new one. I don't remember the name of it, but it's wild looking. And let me tell you all a story that has nothing to do with fish keeping. The only attachment that it has to fish keeping is the fact that I was taking the orders, which is, fish keeping supplies. I was taking all of those to the post office. And in front of me, I am in rural North Carolina, folks. We live in the middle of nowhere. There was a brand new black McLaren in front of me. I don't know what model number it was because I don't know McLarens all that well. I just know it was a McLaren. And I was just like, and I'm not lying to you, I followed that guy. And here's why. I wanted to see who was driving that. What kind of a person can buy a car like that? I'm not jealous of somebody like that. I'm not weird. I'm pretty weird, but I'm not weird like that. I'm not thinking it's like a celebrity or like one of the players from the Panthers or something is going to be in it. We are far from Charlotte, and I think that's where the Panthers play. I just wanted to see who is it? Who is a guy in rural North Carolina driving a McLaren? Why is he here? And I followed him into the Food Lion parking lot. And I'm sorry, the cat with my beard, she walks by, and the hair, I keep having to pick cat hairs out of my face. The guy got out, and the McLaren doors open up. They're not gull-wing doors, they're not scissor doors, they're just kind of, they're this like a spaceship. It's so cool. The door opens up, and he gets out, and I'm like, oh, here it is. I parked right behind him. I mean, I was one parking aisle over, and I'm just sitting there watching him, and he gets out. And the way I would describe the guy, this is what I told Lisa. Yes, I told my wife this story. It looked like Larry David. It was not Larry David, but it was a guy that looked like Larry David. He was probably late 60s. He had a baseball cap on, just like Larry David would. He had cargo shorts and a jacket, like, a man of advanced years would. And I just watched him walk into Food Lion, and I was like, how does that guy have a McLaren? I mean, we're talking about at least a $400,000 automobile. How does a guy drive a car like that to Food Lion, and that car is more valuable than any house in my county? That fascinates me. Because to me, it's kind of like, that guy, what is his name? I don't want to say his name because I don't want it to sound like I'm talking bad about him, because I'm not. But the gentleman in New York that has that absolutely breathtaking reef aquarium in his house that's like 16,000 gallons or something like that. This is something that, it's the most amazing home aquarium I've ever seen. I'm sure there's some that are better, but I want to say his name sounds like Adam Sandler, but it's not Adam Sandler. It's like Adam something. Somebody in here, I'm sure, will know. You don't have an aquarium like that and be somebody that, works at the post office. You know what I mean? That's an aquarium that probably cost him $1 million, if not more, in a home that's probably worth several $1 million. Absolutely gorgeous home. This guy is obviously super, super wealthy. And to me, it's that same kind of a person that just has, what kind of money I'm talking about? That FU money that can buy a McLaren or that can buy an aquarium like that in their house. If he looks like Larry David, walks like Larry David, and drives like Larry David, would never drive a McLaren. Larry David is one of those environment guys, so that's why he drives those BMWs, and for a while there it was Priuses. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I heard him say in interviews that the cars he drives on Curb Your Enthusiasm were his actual private automobiles. So they're always like the environmentally friendly cars, which a McLaren is certainly not. And he would not drive that. Polo Reef, no, I don't think so. North Kakalaki, hey, Tyler, never say that. Never say that again. Andrew Sandler, maybe. Is that it? I think that might be it, Zen. And I've had conversations with somebody about him, and that person has accidentally said Adam Sandler. In fact, it's funny. It was Tulio from Lumalight that I was talking to, and Tulio went there. He did a video at that guy's house because he brought him out there to check his lighting because he wanted to make sure his lighting was okay and if he needs to upgrade his lighting. So he brings the guy who is, a genius when it comes to lighting, brings him out to his house. And Tulio, while he was telling me about this trip that he went to this guy's house, kept accidentally calling him Adam Sandler. So the whole time that Tulio's talking to me about this, I'm like, this is so cool. We had just seen Adam Sandler in concert a couple of weeks before then, and I'm like, dude, you were at his house. That's so incredible. And then he was like, oh, no, wait a minute. It's not Adam Sandler. It's Andrew Sandler, I guess is his name. Yeah, he doesn't look anything like Adam Sandler. And as wealthy as he is and has to be to have a home like that and to have an aquarium like he does, he's still probably not nearly as rich as Adam Sandler because not many people are. But anyway, I don't know what got me on that rant. I'm sorry, but I was talking about the stingrays. I'm not going to have a holy grail fish unless I have a holy grail set up to put him in. If I was like, if they lifted the restrictions on Asian arowanas tomorrow, which, since 1993, I've been fantasizing about these fish. And since 1993, I've been hearing it's any time now. If they were to do that tomorrow, as much as I would want so badly to just immediately buy one, no matter what the cost, go broke, get one, I don't think I would, because where would I put it? To me, I would need a tank like that. Sorry about the light. I would need a tank like that, and it would need to be just for that fish. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my laptop up on top of a can of Northfin fish food. It's not quite there yet. But this is a more comfortable level for me anyway. Sorry about that light. Let's see. Let's do this. Oh, no! That's better. That's as good as we're going to be able to do. I'm not going to do that unless Andrew Sandler's 17,000 gallons. Well, I said 16, so I wasn't that far off. That guy's tank it's the nicest aquarium I've ever seen that is privately owned. I mean, it is absolutely unbelievable. And as I'm becoming more familiar with saltwater fish and reefs and stuff like that, when I look at that tank, it's just like, first of all, like I said, the aquarium had to cost $1 million or more. I would love to meet the guy. I'm pretty confident he wouldn't just say it on the internet. This cost me $1.3 million. Maybe he has. I don't know. But I would love to have a private conversation with him and maybe ask him. I'm sure he's, people have asked him that before. Yeah, I'd love to find out how much that cost. There is the guy, who is it? I don't know his name, but it's a video I saw when I first got on to YouTube. There's a guy that has an aquarium that's like 50,000 gallons. It's like, who did I talk to? Somebody knew this guy. I feel like he might be disabled, like he might be in a wheelchair. I don't know that for certain, but there's a guy that basically built an aquarium and then built the house around it. And it's like his entire basement is a gigantic aquarium, like 50,000 gallons. And that one is more my speed because it's got it's freshwater. So it has giant arowanas and red-tailed cats, and I think it has arapaimas, and he's got all of the big giant monster fish that really should be in 50,000 gallon basement aquariums. That one is really, really cool. It's like the whole wall is aquarium. I'd love to see that one too. I feel like that one is in Canada. I really wish I could remember who it was I was talking to that knew that guy. Maybe it was Sean Hale, because he knows everybody that has an aquarium. Maybe it was Evie. I don't know. I don't know who it was. But that one, I don't know how to find it on YouTube. I don't know where it is. I just know maybe search 50,000 gallon home aquarium. Yeah, that one's pretty breathtaking too. Lady Rorschach, hey John, where's the best place to acquire enough sand for a 40-gallon breeder? Most cost effective too. Thanks so much. Love you too, and Lisa. Love to you and Lisa. Pool filter sand from Walmart. That's the way to do it. I mean, it's like $8 a bag. Couple of bags will fill up that tank. This tank here, I want to say it was 6 bags. I think I bought way too much. I think I bought like 12, and it was way too much. I still have them sitting out in my barn. That sand goes a lot farther than you think. That guy passed, unfortunately. Which one? The one with the tank in his basement? You know what? That's unfortunate if he did. But wow, that must have been a challenge selling that house. I mean, you would have to be a special kind of crazy to buy a house like that. You think you hear that, you're like, oh, that's unfortunate, the guy passed away. That means his house was probably for sale. I wonder who bought it. You're like, oh, wouldn't that be so cool to buy an aquarium with a house on it? I don't think it would. Bill Wan has 20,000 gallons. Phew. I'm going to be honest with you. As much as I love Andrew Sandler's aquarium in his house, Joey might know. He's here. Joey, you know anything about that guy with the 50,000 gallon aquarium in his basement that's on YouTube? From when you started on YouTube? Because I heard he was Canadian, but I don't know. I wouldn't want something like that in my house. If I was able to afford the expense of building an aquarium like that, I would be wealthy enough to build a building around it that is outside. I've got close to 5 acres here, so I could find a spot for it. That's not a problem. But even if you're in a neighborhood, look at Rusty Wessel's, look at Joey's. Look at what we're in right here. Obviously, to build something 50,000 gallons, it would need to be a building larger than this. But you know what I'm saying. I would do that. I would build a 5,000 square foot metal building around an aquarium like that. And it would just be dedicated to that. Because listen, I don't care who you are. If you're that wealthy where you can invest $1 million into an aquarium and build a building around it, let's be real with each other. You're going to be paying somebody to take care of that aquarium, and you would. Because for real, I don't want to clean an aquarium that big. That's something that would be at a public aquarium. There's no way one person could take care of something like that. So if you're having people take care of it for you, which that Andrew Sandler guy has a gentleman that takes care of that tank for him and that whole setup that he has, I don't want that person in my house. 2023 sucks. People suck. I don't want somebody that I've hired off the street in my house taking care of my aquariums. No, but out here it'd be fine. You're a swimming pool with a viewing pain. Yeah. I mean, that's madness. I mean, Joey's tank, the 2,000 gallon, I could see, I don't have a basement in my house, but I could see having a tank that size in a basement. Like George just built an indoor pond for his parents at their house in Chicago. Big giant house. Putting everything back at auto water changes now. I thought I missed water changes. I don't. Yeah. Welcome to the conversation about water changes, Joey. You're a little late on that. I could see an aquarium that size in my house, in my basement, but that's probably as far as I would go. These, you know, the one that Andrew Sandler has is as big as your average home. It is absolutely massive. And even though it looks unbelievable in his home, I personally don't think I would want that in my home. I think I'd rather it be in a dedicated building, but that's just me. I mean, I don't know. Pleep, plop, plep, plop, or pleep, plop. Either way you say it, it's adorable. Became a member. Welcome to the team. Daniel Waterbury became a member. Finsanity said something, but the chat done skipped on me. Joey, I know you're wanting so badly to break my balls right now. I've had an equipment malfunction, cameras, microphones, none of them work. So don't break my balls too much. I know you're already typing it up, and it's fun for you, but don't do that. And what I've done here, folks, is I've just encouraged him to do that. I know Joey a little better than you think I do. Finsanity said, we would have understood if you skipped tonight. I do look forward to this. I look forward to it more when we actually have something to talk about. Because if we don't have something to talk about, then I end up talking about people that I don't know and their aquariums and how huge they are and what size garage I would need for my McLaren if I was to get one. You never really know where things are going to go if I don't have a topic, but it is what it is. Elon's internet having issues? Probably. It always does. Yeah, my 2,000 gallon is not that big anymore. Used to seem big, but everyone got huge tanks these days. I wish I would have went 20 by 25. Whoa. Now see, I mean, good Lord. This room that I'm in right here is 24 by 36. So you're talking about 2/3. You're talking about an aquarium 2/3 the size of this building. Well, not the whole building, because the beta section is a whole other section. But this section here, I don't want to take care of that. She doesn't want to take care of that. You're making yourself deeply unrelatable, Joey. I can't wait to meet you and Lisa in person at Aquashella Daytona. It's my first Aquashella, and thank you for everything you guys do and for you guys helping me starting this amazing hobby. You are very welcome. I'm excited about Daytona too, because I've never been there. I've been to Orlando like 75 times in my lifetime, and Orlando's great. I love that place. But I've never been to Daytona Beach, so I'm excited about that one. Please don't tell him that it distracts him. He can see the status himself. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Liquid Zoo, looking out for me with the old complaints about the internet. If there's something I could do about it, I would. Okay. No, baby kitty, stop. Pixelated Moss became a member for 45 months. So that's a re-up there. Zen Ginger said, look at all these 40-plus mothers. Someone is going to need a 48th bunch. But so now you're going to start on me with that? Is that what's happening now? You drive me crazy. 20 or 25 feet longer. You drive me crazy about the 36-month badge. I finally give you Carl, and now you're going to ride me. Oh, it's baby kitty? You want to do that? See, here's the thing. If I could just hold her like this, it would be fine. But watch what happens. She just won't do it. If you're not like actively, she just. Will you guys ever make a blooper reel for members? Yes. And you will understand you'll understand where that blooper reel will come from in a few weeks. Just stay tuned. We're going to do something starting in a few weeks that we've never done. We are not the first to do it, not even close. You can take all the guesses you want of who's going to do it, or what it's going to be. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and there's going to be plenty of bloopers, I promise you. Melissa Jaswald, I recently watched a cop show that had the theft of an Asian red arowana as a plot device. What? All right, listen. I had somebody tell me they would sell me a super red Asian arowana that was 4.5 inches long that they had bred here in the States for $900. Now, there is an Asian arowana owner in this chat right now. He can go to any store where he's at and buy one because they're legal there in Canada. He would tell you, if you see a super red or any Asian for $900, it's a good deal. But first of all, I didn't know this guy. This guy was going to be, was in the United States, but he was, where was he? He was like in the Southwest. So he was going to be shipping this to me. And this was like 5 or 6 years ago. So it's not, internet scamming was definitely a thing, but it wasn't as prevalent as it is now. It just didn't feel right to me. It felt weird. And not only that, like I said, I didn't want it to begin with, but I was telling myself, even if I was willing to do that, not that guy. Like, I'm going to need to be there, and I'm going to need to hand you the money, like we're doing a back alley deal somewhere. I hand you the money, you hand me the fish, and our transaction is done. I'm not going to have some shady guy mail me a fish like that. Now, if Mike at Imperial Tropicals had one, that I would do because, that's a reputable business. But, some guy that somebody gave him my information on the internet, no. Not doing that. What's the next big tank you'll get? Well, I'll tell you. Carl wants to tell you about it. You can't see him yet. He's coming. Hey, see, this cat, oh my God, is he fat. He bit me on my face the other day, and it made me so mad. Now you're biting my arm? Everybody says, Carl's so cute. You're so mean. He knows he's in trouble. He was really trying to get in there, too. Jerk. Made me lose my train of thought. Let me read that question again. Maybe that'll... Next big tank we're going to get. The tank that's being built right now is 4 feet by 4 feet by 3 feet. 4 feet wide, 4 feet deep, 3 feet tall. That's being built as we speak. And it was supposed to be built a long time ago, but we won't get into all that. It is what we cleared out those two 125s for, which are now right there. Well, one of those 125s has always been there, but you know what I'm saying. We had to get the other one out of there, build the double-decker stand, and clear that space out. We still haven't cleared that space out completely because my wife refuses to relocate her 10-gallon tanks that she has full of snails. I might get banned on YouTube. You see this?
I didn't get that.
I wasn't talking to you. It's fine. You see this freaking gore? Look at this. It's from that cat that everybody loves. He seemed chill to me. Yeah, he is chill until he bites your arm and practically dismembers you. And he's still sitting there. He knows he's in trouble. He is very cute, but he's also not. It's not a reef tank for Lisa. She is getting a saltwater tank. As a matter of fact, I talked about that with the place that we're getting it from the other day. One of the problems is I don't know where it's going to go. I mean, you know, we will make a space for it. But her reef tank that she wants to do is going to be way, way smaller than whatever the whatever 4x4x3 would work out to be. I think it's 300, maybe a little bit over 300 gallons. Somebody said the Pleco made an appearance. Yeah, he pops out every once in a while. And Draco has been out for a lot today for some reason. Draco is my ornate biker. Bitcher, whatever you want to call them. That 4x4x3 tank is going to be... What do you think it's going to be? If it's for Lisa, what do you think it's going to be? My barn house cat sent me to the ER. I spooked him and he latched onto my arm. Oh, yeah. Cats are stronger than you think. There he is. All right, so now look. Look at him right up next to Goyle. That one's Goyle, right? Or Crab. I don't remember which one I named him. But that biker, when we got him a year ago from Eric Furlow, he was like this big. And now he's the same size as the other two. It's wild. But no, Lisa, I'm going to let you guess. It's not going to be a saltwater beta. Those are cool. Surprisingly, she did not try to convince me to get one of those when I got fish for my saltwater tank. But she will probably put one in her reef tank when she gets it. But centerpiece tank in the room. Yep, there's been a couple of people that have guessed it. Leslie Perry, Adam Schoenwald. It's really, congratulations for guessing right. But that wasn't all that far-fetched, was it? No, it is going to be a discus tank. She's been on the fence about what to do, where to get the discus from. I mean, it's pretty simple. She's going to get them from Hans. That's just the way it's going to be. I've had a couple of conversations with Hans, but I haven't had a face-to-face conversation about what happened between him and Stenker. But from what I know about it, it's not good. And we will follow Hans wherever he goes. He is a personal friend of ours. He has been really good to us. He's never given us a free fish. Actually, he gave Lisa one fish for her birthday. That was very nice of him. But we are not friends with him because we go to him and he gives us free fish. It's not like that. We buy fish from him. He's given us a discount before, but we support him because he supports us. From the standpoint of a hobbyist, I could call him right now, and it's not because I'm John from KG Tropicals. You could call him right now. If you were a customer of his, he would first of all answer the phone, and he would sit there and talk to you for 45 minutes, helping you out with your discus questions. And that could be at 9 o'clock on a Sunday night. He would do that. And so to me, somebody like that deserves our business. And so whether he gives us discounts or not, we don't ask him for discounts. We will go with him. But he doesn't sell Stenker anymore. So Lisa has a very particular type of discus that she likes. She loves, I hate speaking for her, but she's not here. She loves all discus. But what she loves the most are the ones that resemble wild discus, the tefes, the santarums. All she has right now is santarums in there. Those are her favorite. And if Hans gets those from another breeder, or if he gets fish and breeds them himself, we'll get them from him, regardless of what they are. We'll find something that he has, and that's where we'll buy them. There is another company now that has, I guess, the exclusive rights to Stenker. I do not have any conflict with them. I don't have any issue with them at all. And you know, to be honest, it doesn't have anything to do with me. So regardless of what the circumstances are, nobody has done anything to me, so I don't have any reason to dislike anybody. But if we were to buy Stenker discus after what happened with Hans, I know how cheesy it sounds, but it almost feels like we would be betraying a friend. And I'm not into that kind of stuff. So we'll get them from Hans, whatever they are, and they'll be awesome. And I'm not supposed to tell you this, but there is a certain fish, not the super expensive ones, but there's a certain fish that is round and adorable and flat and sits on the substrate and then sometimes climbs up the glass. You know the ones I'm talking about? She has talked about possibly incorporating some of those in that tank with the discus too. So I'm spoiling all of the plans for these tanks, for this tank, but that's okay because she's not here to stop me. Stephen P., as awkward as he is, said made it past the 3-year mark without being too broke to be a member. So yay. That is a relief, Stephen P. These days, you got to start going through your bank account and saying, all right, where's all this money going? How many streaming services do I have? How many super chats have I been given? And when it comes to Stephen P., that's a lot. I don't mean streaming services. I mean super chats. I see them all over the place from him. Big, huge supporter of FishTube. You know, channel memberships would be an easy one to say, nah, you know what? I'm going to let that one go. So thank you for not doing that. My Oscar's not eating the mealworms. My Oscars, I'm actually, one of the videos that I'm filming right now, not this minute, but currently working on, is feeding this tank. It's going to be a fun video, and it's going to end with a real big bang. And one of the things that I talk about in that video is Oscars are typically a fish that will devour anything. You know, put hot dogs in there, put cabbage in there, and they'll eat it. You know, they're just like monsters. They just eat anything. However, mine, they've gotten quite a bit spoiled, and it works out really well because when I drop in food for the bikers, because my bikers will come to the top for food, but mine prefer the food to come to them. So I drop food down, it goes down to the bottom and it sits there. They push it around. I've got this on video. I've put it in as B-roll footage in a bunch of videos. They push it around. It's like they're playing with it and then they eat it. It's adorable. There are foods like frozen tilapia, which I thaw out and throw in there. Frozen shrimp, which I thaw out and throw in there. The Oscars will just go like this. And they'll just watch it go right down. They don't want it. They're not interested in it. The Northfin carnivore pellets, which you actually see right there. When I feed pellet food to these fish, which the Oscars, that's pretty much every day. But with them, I either do, like I said, frozen shrimp, frozen tilapia, or the carnivore. I can't even see if I'm pointing to it. Even that, sometimes the red one, the red Oscar, I can't even see my whole thing here. Where's he at? That one. Sometimes he'll snipe a couple of the pellets as they're sinking down to the bottom. But usually they just watch them go and they don't care. So what got me on that was it surprises me, whoever it was that said they won't eat mealworms. Usually Oscars will eat anything, but I'm going to tell you, it wouldn't surprise me if you drop mealworms in that tank and my Oscars wouldn't eat them either, because they're little red, black, and white divas. Stephen Martinez, 14 months already, Wild Time Flies. I remember finding the channel when I started my beta sorority. Look at that. Lisa will be thrilled to hear that. Our Aquatic Universe with Mike B. Aquariums Unlimited had one yellow tang, but it's sold. Probably super expensive, I'm sure. I'm sure it was. Because they're expensive. I don't care where you go now. I remember he had a tang. It was not a yellow. And I was advised not to get one yet. And then when I saw the price, I was like, well, you don't have to convince me of that. That's fine. Saltwater fish are expensive no matter what. The funny thing is, in my saltwater tank, the fish that gets the most attention from me, from Lisa, from anybody that comes here, is the spiky burrfish, but we call him Gizmo. And he's the cheapest fish, I believe, out of the whole batch that we got. Cheaper than the trigger, cheaper than the angel, cheaper than both fox faces. I don't know about the clowns. I don't remember how much those were. But yeah, he's like the coolest fish in the tank and also the cheapest. Isn't that something? But that's not new for me because I'm a guy that likes, $8 fish. But Aquariums Unlimited, come on. They're going to have what you need, and they're going to treat you right. I can't wait to get up there. I talked to Mark the other night, and he said the new reptile section is really coming together nicely. They have a whole aquascaping section in that store now. The store, folks, is 5,000 square feet. They've acquired another 5,000 square feet right next door, and they're connecting the two. It's going to be a 10,000 square foot aquarium and reptile store. Come on. Can't wait to see it. Leslie Perry, I want everyone who has a cat/cats to hug them extra hard tonight. And my husband is in Kernsville, North Carolina, visiting his mom, so I'd be all by myself if it's not for this stream. Thank you. Leslie, you want to hear something interesting? I'm supposed to be in Kernsville tomorrow, but I'm not going. I had planned to up until this whole thing went down with my videos getting scrapped today, and I have to do the videos. So I'm not going to be able to go tomorrow, which is a shame. You better sit up there and be nice, jerk. Lady Rorschach, what was your question? I know I did, but you were way up there, weren't you? Best place to acquire sand. I'll tell you again, Lady Rorschach, it's not a problem. Walmart, play sand. No brainer. So easy. If you want to go back on the replay, I go into much more detail, but that's the short answer for you. Devin R., welcome to the team. He became a member, and then Adam Schoenwald, because this is what he does every single week, gave out 5 free gifted memberships. Wasn't free for him, but it's free for the people who get it. That is very nice of you, Adam. You do that every week, and I don't even understand why. Aquatic Wong, hi, John. I'm sorry I'm late, but it's 2 a.m. here in the UK. Listen, no apologies necessary. I got a funny story about that. I messaged the other day, and then as soon as I clicked send, I was like, it was like 11:30 here, and I had a plant question. So I messaged George Farmer, because why wouldn't you, right? I mean, he is the man. I messaged George Farmer at 11:30, and I was like, oh, daggone it. It's like 4 a.m. for him. In fact, I even asked this person, I don't want to say her name because then she'll start interrupting the stream. What time is it in the UK right now? And it was like 3 a.m. or something like that. Would you know he answered me? And listen, it's not because of my subscriber count. It's because George and I are friends, and I can recall way back, I mean, like before I took my break, like way back in the day, I remember messaging him and him answering me right back. Like, I think we were around the same size channel at the time. We've been friends for a few years, and you know, I appreciate him very much. I was not expecting him to answer me, but I'm one of those people. If something's on my mind, if you're not, pool filter sand or play sand. I believe I said play sand, didn't I? To be honest with you, either one of them is fine. You just have to clean play sand a little more because it's dirtier. Pool filter sand is a lot easier because you don't have to clean it as much. You still do, but you don't have to clean it as much. I'm one of those people, if, let's say, I don't even know how to do it. Okay, let's say I get up, I try to get up around 7 every day. It's sometimes a little later than that. Life is beautiful when you don't have an alarm clock. If I got up at 7 and I went down and I was doing my emails and doing my thing, and then I was like, oh, you know what? I meant to say this thing to Bob. I meant to bust Bob's balls about something. Say that 3 times. Bust Bob's balls. I will do it right then and there, even though I know it's 4 a.m. where he's at. Bob's a weird guy. He might be up, but that's not why I'm doing it. I'm sending it knowing Bob's probably sleeping, but I'm sending it because if I say, well, I'm going to wait till 11 o'clock or something my time so that it's 8 o'clock his time and maybe it's more likely that he's up. I'm not going to do that because by 11 o'clock, I'm going to be on to 4 or 5 other things. So, yeah, I have to get it out right then and there. And that's why I did that with George. And then I was like, uh-oh, it's the middle of the night for him. But he answered me, which is weird. I adore George. And I would do anything for him. But if he messaged me at 3 a.m., I promise you, I'm not answering him. Unless, you know, I happen to be up for something, some reason, then I would. But, you know, if I'm sleeping, I'm going to sleep right through that notification from Facebook. And I'm going to have no clue that even a superstar like a George Farmer messaged me. Don't you all start thinking it's funny to message me in the middle of the night now. All my West Coast friends, I know what you're thinking. Garcia Aquatics, I really appreciate for all the stuff you do. Well, thank you. That means a lot. And I just got to tell you, in a few weeks, we're going to be doing a lot more. The most ambitious, most crazy project that I've ever done. And I'm really excited about it. So my Doberman goes off at 6:30 a.m. every day. Oh, see, that's trouble. My Chihuahuas, they sleep in my office. And they are not, like, they could bark and I wouldn't hear them at night because our bedroom is far enough away. But the Beagle comes up with us, and she is the laziest dog on earth. A Beagle. They're supposed to be hard workers. No, she's not. Roxy is the best. I adore that dog, but she is the laziest. I have to, like, on a weekend, if I get up at like 8:30, I have to like be like grabbing her like, Roxy, come on. And she's like, she's like a teenager. It's horrible. She does not want to get up. You could probably bring a marching band through our room in the middle of the night and that dog wouldn't wake up. But maybe she's just following after me. I don't know. A friend called me at 5 a.m. to go eat. Yeah, that wouldn't be a friend of mine for very much longer. I mean, you can call me at 5 a.m., but unless you're on my bypass list, because I'm a smart person and I have an Apple phone. I don't know if the old Androids do this, but you can actually set your phone to have certain contacts bypass the fact that you have your notifications turned off, or you have your you flick the little switch on the side, which we all do when we go to bed. My family members and stuff like that are on that bypass thing. So you can call me at 5 a.m. unless you're one of those bypassed, which unless any of my kids or my mother or my sisters or brother are watching, I ain't going to hear it. I'll see that you called when I get up, and I'll wonder, oh no, who died? Because why would somebody call me at 5 a.m.? Anybody that knows me knows. I got nothing to say to you at 5 a.m. I don't care who you are. Daniel, I live in Mayberry, North Carolina, home of Andy Griffith. Well, how about that? What is that town called? It's not actually called, it's not Asheville, because Asheville's like a big city. What is the name of that town? I have totally forgotten. I have not been there yet, though. That's on the complete opposite side of the state from me. We're in the Northeast, at least I think. Where do you think Apple got the idea from? Who knows? I just like to say I'm a smart person because I have apples. Although, I don't know if the problem with all of my stuff right now has to do with this computer. First time maybe Apple has failed me. I look forward to meeting you and John and Lisa Marie in Dallas. Well, I look forward to meeting you too. You're going to have to remind me of who you are. That's what's funny. Crypto and Cowboy. See, this happens all the time. Anybody that's a YouTuber could tell you this. People come up, Crypto and Cowboy. Like, what is that supposed to mean? Anyway, I'm going to say it like this. I'm going to say Crypto and Cowboy. Okay? So they walk up to me in the show and they're like, hey. And I'm like, hey. And they're like, it's Crypto and Cowboy. Mount Airy. There you go. Thank you, Catwoman. Bravo. You recognize me because I'm the weirdo on YouTube that does videos. But when I see you, I don't know you. And that's what happens a lot. People are like, hey, it's Adam Schoenwald. And I'm like, you expect me to know you because you know so much about me, but I've never seen you. This is my first time seeing your beautiful face. I don't recognize these people. There's been very few people. Ligate 12, who now has a different name. Pardon me, I don't recall what the new name is. Him I recognized because I told him what to do when I met him. When he came up to me at Aquashella, I told him what to do, and he did that, and I knew exactly who he was. But yeah, unless it's something like that, or unless you're wearing a shirt that says I am Crypto and Cowboy, I'm not gonna know who you are. But I'll be thrilled to meet you. I'll be the guy that looks like you. You got it right. Hey, you know what? It's a beautiful look, isn't it? I mean, it works. It is one way to polish the turd. I'm sure that's not the situation for you, but for me, it definitely is. Adam Schoenwald, I give out memberships every week because I believe the value I get out of your weekly content is worth more than 5 memberships, so I pass it forward. I shouldn't have done that because now, if you're wondering why I do this, if I got to rub my eyes, it's because there's no cat hair on the inside of my shirt. If cat hair gets in my eyes, it's going to be a big problem. I'm going to look like Will Ferrell and what was it, Old School? Where he got the that was Old School, wasn't it? You're crazy, man. That's very nice of you, Adam. That's a huge expense every week. That is more than generous. and I thank you very much. That means a lot to Lisa and I very much. Whips World, Family Thursday. So I've not been able to listen to what we're talking about, but I agree 100% with you, John. See, that is a true friend right there. You might want to watch this on replay, Whip, because Audrey Paquette, one of my 5th grade students graduating elementary soon, asked me to name one of my fish after him to remember him. Every day I tell him how his fish is doing. He thinks it's hilarious. That is the most adorable story I've heard all day. I love it. That's really cute. And it's hard to name fish. So that's a beautiful story. I love that. Daniel, Mount Airy is a beautiful town, and we managed to keep everything going through the recession. Our small town Main Street is more happening now as ever. If you're ever close by, you should visit. Let's see how close I am to Mount Airy. I know I've looked it up before, but I do not recall. Oops. See here. The internet is terrible out here. Elon has still not sent out the new system. 219 miles I am from Mount Airy. I knew that. I knew it was far. This is what my screen does. I mean, Elon, come on, dude. Like, I got no cell signal out here. All right, it's 219 miles away. So, Leslie Perry, just curious, do you prefer gifted memberships or super chats? Hey, listen, I don't have a preference, and I never would have a preference. I don't ask for any of these things. They just kind of happen because we're blessed that way by all of you. So, you know, it doesn't matter to me. Either way is perfectly fine with me. What's your opinion on RO systems? My tap water has considerable levels of fluoride and chloramines in it. I use Prime, but it still scares me. First of all, Abby412. I looked at the wrong camera. Thank you. I saw you. I have an RO system, and I only use it on the saltwater tank. In fact, I'm getting ready to redo the whole system to have it go into those barrels. I'm excited about doing that. 4 hours and 30 minutes, by the way, is how long it takes me to get to Mount Airy. Was I right about it being at least close to Asheville? There are certain circumstances that RO water would be necessary. Chloramines, that would not concern me at all, because that would be I don't have any more concern over that than I would chlorine, because it's basically the same thing. And Fritz Complete, Seachem Prime takes care of that. It's a non-issue. The other thing that you said, I don't know why this scroll feature on the chat is so bad. Fluoride. I mean, I don't know unless you had some kind of major piece of equipment. I don't know that you could test that. Obviously, I'm sure you know that because of probably the tests from your... Oh, that's right above Kernsville, where I'm supposed to be tomorrow. How about that? Would I buy an RO system for fluoride? I don't know, because I've never had to do anything to my aquarium water because of fluoride. So I know that doesn't help you at all, but for certain fish that want water to be a certain way, want it to be practically distilled, RO water could be beneficial. But it's a It's a process. The systems have gone way down in cost. I can remember when RO systems were outrageously expensive, or maybe it was just that I was looking at the wrong ones. But now, the one I got was from DFW, and I want to say it's like $150. It might even be cheaper than that. They're not outrageously expensive. $150 is a lot of money, but it's not like, thousands of dollars. Hooking them up is not difficult to do, but you have to have somewhere for the water to go. Why? You have to have somewhere for the water to go. Like, I can hold her. I can put my arm up to her. She won't bite me. I could try to make her bite me. Bite my fingers. Bite them. Bite my fingers. Bite my fingers. She won't do it. This is the sweetest cat on planet Earth. She just doesn't want to be held. But I bet you'll do this. Look. Up here. Sit up here. No, you're not going to do it now. We will walk by her, and she'll be on this table, and she'll just jump up on our shoulders. Come on up here. And without even asking permission, she just violates our space whenever she wants. Where's your RO water going to go? How are you going to stop it from overflowing? Most RO systems, they're just a constant flow. And then when your tank is full, you either turn it off or you put a float valve in there. Are you going to use one of those big brute trash cans? Are you going to get a 55-gallon drum like I have, or 3 of them like I have? You have all of those other things to consider when you're talking about RO systems. RO systems, at least not that I'm aware of, you're not going to find RO systems that are just going to come out of your sink. If they do, it's like a 1-gallon or maybe a 5-gallon little storage tank underneath your sink. And once that's gone, then you're out of RO water. To store enough RO water for what we do, like I said, I'm going to be storing 150 gallons. Do I need 150 gallons? Nope. But I go to extremes. I'm like the Billy Joel song. That's just what I do. I don't think I'm going to ever need 150 gallons of it, but I like to have it in case I do. 2 of them are going to be with mixed salt water in it, and the third will be just straight up RO water. Maybe we could start to experiment with incorporating the RO water into some of these tanks. I don't think I'll do that with this one, because even 150 gallon isn't going to touch that. But Lisa's discus tanks, they're Stenker discus. They don't really need RO water, but maybe, it might help them breed or something. I don't know. We'll see. And it's nice to be able to have that water sitting around in case we need it. Now the camera wants to work. Out of nowhere, the camera just said, "Oh, I'll come on now." So stupid. Somebody asked something about bikers. I can't go past a biker question. They said, what aquarium size would you recommend for a biker? Is that what I saw somebody ask? How big of a tank would you recommend for bikers? Bikers are slow growers, except for my Ornate. Ornates grow fast. It's not just mine. It's all Ornates, and he's not out anymore. He is, but you can just see him between there. He has grown like a freaking rocket ship. It's unbelievable. But these 2, Crab and Goyle, that's Crab back there and Goyle, and then that's Draco. Yes, they're named after Slytherin characters from Harry Potter. Those 2, I'm sure they've grown, but I haven't really noticed. I've had them for, I'd have to check the video, 2 years now? And they don't even really seem like they've grown at all. They eat good. They eat shrimp. They eat tilapia. They eat carnivore pellets. They'll eat whatever goes down there to them. They eat good, and they make a huge mess. But they just don't seem to be growing, and that's, they're slow growers. So you can get away with a a tank that's not ideal size for them for a little while. If you're going to go with the larger varieties, I mean, the ornates are going to be really big. The Lepredi and the Lecarii that I have, they get big too. It just takes them a long time to get there. So you can put them in a, I mean, let's say 125 would be ideal. As you can see, they are not the most active fish. They're not like arowanas that are just constantly back and forth. If you see an arowana, at least a silver arowana, sitting in one place, you start asking what's wrong with that fish. I mean, they're like Danios. They're constantly back and forth. But bikers, not so much as he starts to move across. But it's not uncommon for me to be in here and for those two fish to not move for 4 hours. That would not concern me at all. So to not have the 8 feet like I have to be able to sprawl out and go back, it's not going to be the end of the world for them for a while. I think an 8-foot tank is like the perfect world scenario for these guys. It's going to take them a long time to really need a tank that size, but I think that's perfect. But you can get away with a 6-foot tank for a while. That's the glorious thing about bikers. They're not all over the place. They just sit there and they look awesome. That's what they do. Carl is innocent. I have proof. How dare you call me a liar? Look at that proof. Not that. That's my scar from when I broke my arm. Look at that. Look at that carnage. I should sue you. How big of a tank should I get for my first saltwater tank? Ooh. Let me tell you this. If I was to say this in front of Mark from Aquariums Unlimited, he would not be happy with me at all. The amount of work that I've done on my 240 gallon has been basically nothing. That's not laziness. Why is this not moving? Oh, because I was trying to move the camera. Meanwhile, the camera's up here now. The work, I've only got 7 fish in there. They're small. I feed them twice a day. I don't overfeed them. The tank is clean. The water tests perfectly. I have a huge protein skimmer in there. I've had to do basically nothing. I've had that tank set up for 2 months now. I've done less work on that tank than any other tank in this building. That's a fact. So when people tell you larger tanks are easier, and I think that rule really applies to saltwater, they're not lying. So I don't recall who it was that asked me that question, but I would tell you this: absolutely as big as you can go. Because first of all, it's really cool. And second of all, they're just easier to take care of. And that rule applies to all aquariums. The bigger you go, the less work you're going to have to do to them. You think Joey changes 50% of the water in his 2,000 gallon tank every week? I bet you he doesn't. I don't do that in this every week. I mean, it's way smaller than Joey's, but I've got 7 dogs in there, and I don't change water in that tank every week. And I could go a lot longer if the poop didn't do what the poop does. I could go longer between water changes, but right now it's about 2 weeks. is when I'm like, I can't stand it anymore. It's so nasty in there. There's diarrhea poop everywhere. I have to take care of it. But it's just a fact. Larger tanks require less maintenance. They just do. Wait a minute. I am way far behind here. Good Lord, what have you people been doing? Daniel Landeros at Dallas Aquashella, can you help me convince my wife Oscars are awesome? Well, of course I can. And I will say it to her face. And I will say, listen, lady, if you don't like Oscars, you're just wrong. I don't care about your feelings. You're wrong. Don't question me. I will help you, Daniel. You just remind me, and I got you. I'll take care of it. I see your avatar. She looks like a nice lady. I don't want to fight her, but I will tell her, hey, listen, you need to get it together. These fish are awesome. Just look at mine. And I'm not afraid to say it to her face. Tony B's Fish, $4.99. Nothing attached to it. Just here. Just because you're fun. And you've been through some stuff today. And you're still here. Thank you, Tony B. Witsworld, taking more than her share. Had me fighting for air. She told me to come, but I was already there. If you're going to, listen, Whip, I almost called you by your real name. When I say softballs, I don't mean like the most popular song AC/DC ever did. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can go a little more difficult than that, but I appreciate on a day like today, I appreciate you throwing me that super slow softball. Liquid Zoo, because here he goes, he's continuing it. Because the walls start shaking, the earth was quaking, my mind was aching, and we are making it, and you shook me all night long. You want to hear something funny? I was in a band in my early 20s, and I sang that song. And I got a lot of compliments on that song. I hated singing that song because it made my throat hurt, because you're not going to sing that song like John Hudson. You have to sing that song like Brian Johnson or the other guy. Don't say it. Bon Scott. Because didn't he originally do that song? And then, yeah, that was the Bon Scott song, right? And then the most unique voice on the planet singing for AC/DC passes away. It's unfortunate. And he's replaced with a guy that sounds exactly like him. How does that happen? That would be like Coulter Wall passes away, and then, well, he is the whole band. You know, he is the guy, but then somebody else comes along and sounds exactly like him. But then I guess you could easily say Coulter Wall sounds like a reincarnation of Johnny Cash. If you don't know who Coulter Wall is, listen to his music. Don't turn it off immediately. Might I recommend or suggest Sleeping on the Blacktop or Kate McKinnon? Either one of those two songs. Kate McKinnon is a little bit more obscure than Sleeping on the Blacktop, but either one of those songs, you're going to hear it and you're going to be like, what? But just give it a chance. That guy is magical. I absolutely am infatuated with Coulter Wall. If you haven't heard of him, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your loss, because that guy's awesome. And it was Joe Rogan that turned me on to him. Not like Joe called me one day and said, hey, I got a really cool, it was on his podcast. He was talking to Luke Combs about him, and I was like, how have I never heard about this person? And I've been infatuated ever since. And here's the thing. Lisa and I, we don't agree too much on music. We agree on Metallica, anything like old 70s, 80s, 90s. She would not agree with me that Metallica is the best metal band that's ever lived. But she agrees with me on those. I played Coulter Wall for her in my truck. And I was like, I don't know how this is going to go. I said, listen, I put this guy on, and at first I didn't know what to think. But then after I listened for about 30 seconds, I absolutely fell in love with this guy's music. So listen to it, give it a chance. I put on Kate McKinnon, and 30 seconds in, she was like, I don't like any modern country music, but I love this. And I was like, oh, she loves it. She really loves it. And we listened to him the entire rest of the way home. I love me some Colter Wall. Check him out. And the amazing thing about him, when you listen to Colter Wall, if you're a Johnny Cash fan, you're gonna be like, this is the second coming of Johnny Cash. And then you're gonna be shocked when you find out that he's like 23 years old. It's ridiculous. He's up there from Joey's way. He's a Canadian. Leo, Carl is innocent. We like Carl. Be nice to Carl. See, that's the problem. I'm nice to Carl. He's not nice to me. And I don't understand it. It really bothers me. Tony B again rescued an Oscar from someone the other day. I only had a 55-gallon set up for him. Is this sufficient? And can I add more pretty cool fish? So listen. I'm supposed to give you the responsible answer here. And I'm supposed to tell you that it's not going to be sufficient long term. You did a good thing. You rescued that fish. That's awesome. You probably put it in a better situation than it was in, and that's really cool of you. An Oscar can be in a 55 for quite a while. These fish up here, they don't look that big in the background. But let me just do this. Stay sideways. Come on, dude, turn sideways. That fish is that big. I don't have a tape measure. That's a big guy. And it's probably 12 inches, if not more. So you're talking about when your fish gets to that size, it's going to be 1/4 of the length of that tank. And that's, that's pushing it. So certainly I would not add more. But you'll be okay for a while. How about that? I don't want you to feel bad. I'm not trying to come down on you like, oh my God, like some people will online. How dare you put a fish like that in a 55? Listen to what I'm telling you. You're doing better than a lot of people do. But I would love to see you eventually maybe move that fish up to at least a 6-footer. I always try to recommend a minimum of 125 gallons. 6 foot, you'll be fine. James Hetfield's voice. Love James Hetfield's voice. Listen, I will fight you if you say anything bad about Metallica. I love modern country and old Southern rock, but I'm a Texas girl. Well, then it was kind of born into you then. Modern country to me is only Colter Wall, Luke Combs, some Morgan Wallen, but he's a little poppy for me, and Chris Stapleton. If I was going to pick 3, it would be Colter Wall, Chris Stapleton, which Chris Stapleton's a god, I'll say it to your face, and Luke Combs. He's also a god. Luke Combs is as close to old school country as I've ever heard. I grew up on Conway Twitty, and obviously the Waylon Jennings and the Merle Haggards and the Johnny Cash. And Conway Twitty was my guy. I can put Conway on any day of the week. And those guys, I don't know, they kind of remind me of them. But then I also would tell you that Garth Brooks is a god, and I'll say it to your face, and I don't care what you say about it. If you don't think Garth Brooks is a god, you were born post 2000. Because if you were in the 90s and you were listening to country music, if you didn't like Garth Brooks, then there was a problem with you. But anyway, folks, it's 9:36. I'm sitting here talking about country music and things that are that long and Bon Scott and all of this. It's been a lot of fun. I was worried about how tonight was going to go. We had no viewers in here. I'm sorry. That was really rude. I didn't mean it like that. We're usually in the 400 or so range, and we didn't make it over like 250 today. That doesn't hurt my feelings. I didn't have any expectations tonight. The numbers are usually bigger if people stay. People didn't stay tonight because the audio and the video was terrible there for a while. We got it to come around there in the last 10 minutes, but it is what it is. I don't know what I could have done about it. We did our best. I had fun, and so the people that were here, where are the bodies, Garth Brooks? I know where you're coming from, Jonathan Santiago. I too am a Tom Segura fan. They're really mean to him. Tom Segura and Christina P. are so mean to Garth Brooks. Like I said, he is a god to me. I saw Garth Brooks in 1992. It was the best concert I've ever been to in my entire life. I've been to a lot of metal shows, country shows. I've been to them all. I've seen Chicago 7 times. I mean, I've been to every kind of concert. The best I've ever been to. I've seen Elton John with Billy Joel. I've seen Billy Joel 7 times. I've seen Chicago 4 times. I've been to every kind of show you can imagine. It's the best one I've ever been to. And I was a fan. It was the Rope in the Wind tour that I saw him on. And Martina McBride opened for him. She didn't even have an album out yet. It was just, I became the biggest Garth Brooks fan after that show. I was a fan. We got the tickets for free. And I became a much bigger fan after I saw him live. Tim McGraw, same way. I saw somebody mention Tim McGraw. I've seen Tim McGraw in concert too. He opened for Diamond Rio, I believe it was. And he blew the doors off of Diamond Rio. He was amazing. He closed with the Joker. Are you kidding me? It was awesome. Became a huge Tim McGraw fan after that. But the 90s are Garth's era. And if you don't agree with that, then you're just wrong. And Tom Segura and Christina P., 2 are my favorite people in the world. I've also seen Tom Segura in concert. Loved it. It was so much fun. But I hate what they do to Garth Brooks. It's just mean. They're mean to him. Yeah, he is a little weird. Show me a person that has made $1 billion that's not weird and that's not named Keanu Reeves, and I will say, okay, there's one. The only one I know is Keanu Reeves that's not crazy, and he's, super, super, super rich. People get that rich, they get weird, they get crazy. They all do. So, I don't care about his personal life. I don't care if he's a little odd. I like his music. And in the 90s, there was nobody bigger. So, Chicago without Peter Cetera is blah. All right. I'm not going to fight you on that, Catwoman. I saw them in concert 4 times. The first time I saw them was on, I think, 16, and then 17, 18, 19. No, because 19 was still Peter Cetera. The first year that Peter Cetera was not with them and the new guy came in, I don't even remember that new guy's name, I saw them with him. So I've seen him 3 times with Peter Cetera, once with the other guy. I love the other guy. Not as much as Peter Cetera, but I love the, Look Away and stuff like that. Forget about it. I mean, they did some great songs with that new singer. But Peter Cetera was, he was Chicago. I'm going to end with some controversy. Okay. And this is one of those things John can go all night long. You get me talking about music and entertainment and movies and all of that, I could talk all night long. I'm going to say something controversial. And if you disagree with me, I think you're wrong. There's no way to say what I'm about to say is a fact because it's subjective. But I personally, anybody that's even close to my age can relate to what I'm about to say. You can either disagree or not agree. If you're somebody that's 20, you're not even going to know who I'm talking about. Well, maybe you still will because he's still incredibly famous, but you wouldn't have been around when this was happening. I am one of those people that believes from the bottom of my heart, and I will argue it until the day I die, that Van Halen with Sammy Hagar was better than David Lee Roth. The songs were better written. Sammy Hagar is 100 times better singer than David Lee Roth. Yeah, David Lee Roth did the cartwheels and the kicks and the flips and all of the jazz and all of the weird stuff. Sure, David Lee Roth was great, but he's a terrible singer. I'm sorry. David Lee Roth's a horrible singer, and if you don't agree with me, you're just wrong. Sammy Hagar is a world-class singer, and the songs that he composed with Eddie and Alex, come on. Sammy Halen is way better than Dave Halen. 5150 is one of the best albums that was ever made. The guy holding the globe on the... Oh, give me a break. Let's do it. Let's do it all night long. Rush, Van Halen. Of course I love Rush. Are you kidding me? There was there's a really funny video. I think it's on the Funny or Die channel. I'm not sure. If you've ever seen the movie I Love You, Man, with Paul Rudd and that other guy. I can't remember his name right now. That was a hilarious movie. If you ever meet me in person and I call you Jobin, it's because of that movie. Or Mimish. I might call you Mimish. That whole movie's about Rush. They love Rush. And there's a video on, I think it's Funny or Die. It's on YouTube. You can watch it for free. Where they actually, when they're at the concert in the movie, they go backstage and they meet Geddy and Alex and Neil. And it's amazing. And it's sad because Neil is no longer with us. And that is, that's very sad. I am one of those people that will say he's the best drummer to ever do it. Danny Carey would come in number 2 for me. But yeah, you want to have your mind blown. Type in Danny Carey, and before you're done typing Danny Carey, it will show up Pneuma after him. Just watch that. It looks like the word pneumonia, but it's Pneuma. Just watch that, and you'll be like, yeah, that guy's good. Holy crap, we get a $50 super chat before we're even supposed to be done? I'm 44, but I was a David Lee fan. I was with you until then, John. He's a better performer in the memory of my youth. Okay, now listen, Zen. I will give it to you that he is a better performer. Axl Rose is also a good performer. They're both terrible singers. They're great frontmen, but neither one of them can shake a stick at Sammy Hagar. I mean, Sammy Hagar is a world-class rock voice. I don't care who you are. It's just the truth. And the style of their music completely changed when Sammy came in, and in my opinion, it got 10 times better. I was a Sammy fan before, yes. I was a Van Halen fan before, yes. You put those two together, it's like peanut butter and jelly. Forget about it. I'm a happy guy. You put those two guys together. I agree 100% on Sammy. Good, thank you. What are the best plants? Oh, now we're back to talking about fish. To plant in the gravel without root tabs, preferably from PetSmart or Petco. Just go with something like swords. I mean, we don't sell swords, but you said Petco or PetSmart. Swords, they'll be easy all day long. You said easy? There you go. You got it. Technically speaking, Hagar was a better musician, but David made the band. Now listen, like I said, I'm not going to take it away that David Lee Roth was a great frontman. But first of all, he's a Looney Tune. Have you ever seen that man interviewed? You see Sammy interviewed and he's just like, hey, let's talk. Let's jam. Let's have some tequila. He just seems like a great guy. I would love to meet that man. David Lee is like, what planet is that guy from? He's just a weirdo. He's his own biggest fan. And he's super weird. Great frontman, not great singer. Barbara Strominger, that deserves a super chat. Totally agree. Sammy's the best. I mean, I don't think, I really don't think it's up for debate. I don't. Listen, I even liked the Gary Cherone version of Van Halen. I did. I bought the album back when you did that. Loved it. But Sammy with Van Halen, that was God tier to me. It was two completely different bands. Yeah, Jonathan gets it. It's true. Like I said, they were very different. Their style completely changed. The music was more anthem style with Sammy, and it was more party style with David Lee. Both great, but I don't know. Sammy, I love Sammy Hagar. What do you want from me? Bryce Lane, Kenny Rogers. Seen Kenny Rogers in concert too. At the Bull Run Jamboree. It was probably like 1982. I am a fan of Kenny Rogers. How could I not be? I'm 48 years old. Yeah. What do you want me to say about Kenny Rogers? Yeah, and his chicken was great too. But yeah, I'm a Kenny Rogers fan. I'm not a huge Kenny Rogers fan, but I'm a fan. Eddie Clay. Now, see, me and you, we may fight if we meet in person because of what I'm about to say. Lisa just texted me, how was the stream? Let me answer her. I'm so stupid because I need to go finish putting plants away. I just answered her, still going. Eddie Clay, I'm not a fan of Hank Jr., and I'm going to tell you this right now. You're going to hate me, and you're going to want to fight me when you hear this. I've walked out of 2 concerts in my life, left the show, and one of them was Hank Jr. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Charlie Daniels, get this, okay? Consider, think about it if you were my age. Charlie Daniels. Right? Charlie Daniels opened. He played for 20 minutes. And then Travis Tritt came out. Which Travis to me is another God tier level guy. I've seen Travis like 4 times. Love that guy. So it was Charlie Daniels, Travis Tritt, and then Hank Jr. I went to see Travis Tritt and Charlie Daniels. I didn't care about Hank Jr. Hank Jr. came out, and after like 2 songs, I was like, this is a nightmare. I don't want to be here anymore. And I left. And I'm sorry, but I did. I mean, I can say I've seen him, but I was not entertained. He's a horrible, horrible singer. He is a guy that is famous because of his father, and that's all there is to it, because he's terrible. I'm sorry. I'd say it to his face. In case you want to know the other concert, and then I'm going to get off of here, because I got 300 plants to go put away. The other concert I walked out on was, I had a reason, a very specific reason to walk out. Absolute classic band, more #1 hits than I could probably even think of. The concert was Styx. I am a huge, huge fan of Styx. REO Speedwagon opened up for him. I caught a drumstick from the drummer from REO Speedwagon. I lost it. I don't know where it is. They were amazing, REO Speedwagon. They were fantastic. And then Styx came out. And now here's the thing. My love of Styx is a love of Dennis DeYoung. That guy's voice is... it's up there with the Steve Perrys and, you know, the people that are known for having those absolutely unbelievable voices. He's one of those people. Well, apparently I wasn't as big a fan as I thought I was, because I had no idea that, like, 5 years prior, Dennis DeYoung had left the band. Did not know that. I'm watching, and James J.Y. Young came out, who I actually met in a parking lot in Virginia Beach, which was awesome. I've told the story about how I took a shower with Tommy Shaw. It was a beach shower. The story is funnier than it sounds. But that same occasion, I walked past J.Y. Young, and I couldn't not say anything. So James J.Y. Young came out first. Tommy Shaw came out. Tommy Shaw is, you know, God tier level. And then this guy came out. And he looked a little like Dennis DeYoung. It's not like the guy who replaced Steve Perry. You're not going to see him. What is his name? Arnell something? Brilliant singer. He comes out. You're like, hey, wait a minute. That's not Steve Perry. He looks like he's Filipino. And he is. This guy came out and he kind of resembled Dennis DeYoung. And he had the white and black striped shirt on, not like a prison shirt, but like thin stripes. And he went straight to the keyboard and they all started playing. And I was looking at him and I was like, hey, wait a minute. That's Tommy Shaw. That's James J.Y. Young. I don't think that's Dennis DeYoung. And then they did a Dennis DeYoung song. I don't remember which one it was. And these are my exact words. I was there with somebody, and my sister and my brother-in-law. The words, "Oh, hell no," came out of my mouth when that guy started singing. That is a travesty. I will not accept this. I'm out. And I left after like 3 songs. We all did. They all agreed. Going to see Styx without Dennis DeYoung for me would be like going to see Queen without Freddie Mercury. Now, I know Adam, what's-his-face, is doing a great job with them now. I don't mean now. I mean when Freddie Mercury was still with us. If you were to show up at a Queen show, which I would do for sure, and Freddie wasn't there, it would be like, why am I here? That's how I felt at the Styx show. And so I said, goodbye. I took my drumstick from REO Speedwagon and I left. And it was nice because there was no traffic because everybody else was still at the show. But listen, folks, this has been fun. I've gone now 25 minutes over. Arnell is nowhere near as good as Steve Perry. If anyone saw their New Year's Eve's performance, it was pretty bad. Can't touch Steve Perry. I didn't see that performance, but I have seen him before, and I've watched that documentary about him. I think he's brilliant, and I think it's very, very difficult for anyone to match Steve Perry. Steve Perry he's just one of the best singers that's ever done it. And to fill his shoes it's not possible. You can fill David Lee Roth's shoes. Gary Sharon did it well. Sammy Hagar knocked it out of the park. I thought when I've seen their live performances, I've never seen Van Halen live, but I've seen, videos of them and stuff. I think even when Sammy did David Lee songs, he did them better than David Lee did. But anyway, to expect a karaoke singer to come in and do better than Steve Perry, that's just not going to happen. That's like a woman just walks up on stage taking the place of Celine Dion. No, just don't even try. But I've actually heard that there's a lot of drama going on there, and like they're kicking him out of the band now and stuff. And I think that's, I think that's sad. I don't know the circumstances, but I know the guys from Journey are old curmudgeons, and you know that's just a shame. Queen is the GOAT. I love good old Fred. Yeah, I mean, listen, Freddie Mercury was a god. I don't know what more needs to be said. I mean, there was it Live Aid. What was that show? They did it in the movie. That was just unbelievable. I mean, yeah, Queen is great. I love them. I love that movie, Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't know how accurate it is, but I still loved it because it's about Queen. Love Queen very much. Alice Cooper is a wise, wise man. He's a good golfer, too. Very good golfer. Eat 'em and Smile might be my favorite 80s album. Nice. Yeah, listen, folks, we could go all night long with this. But I have 300 plants to go put away. And, you know, practically everybody's out of here by now. I feel bad. I don't know if James and Ed are streaming. But I feel bad if I'm stepping over top of them. But this has been an absolute blast. I don't have a lot of friends to hang out with. So when I get to talking about music or movies, you start talking to me about 80s and 90s country music, I can go all night long. Excuse me, sir. So it's been fun this last half hour to go on and on about other things. Somebody brings up Ozzy. Ozzy's another one I've seen like 6 times. I've seen him with Danzig. I saw him at the 930 Club in Washington, D.C. This is a standing room only place, and I swear to you that club is the size of this room. I was like 12 feet away from Ozzy. When he did the bucket thing with the water, I got wet. That's how close I was. I love Ozzy. I saw him with Danzig, which was awesome because I grew up a Misfits fan. Who else opened for him? He didn't have an opener for one. I don't know. I don't remember all the openers, but I love Ozzy. But no James or Ed tonight. Oh, okay. Well, then I don't feel bad. But I do have to get off of here because I don't think Lisa is nowhere near close to home. Call me when you're done. Give me at least 20 minutes, though. I'm going to be putting plants away, lady. I guess she hasn't even left Raleigh yet, which means she is a strong 2.5 hours away. Let me see. We have an app on our phone that's called Life 360. Y'all familiar with that? It's not for stalking purposes. I work from home. My wife is my business partner. We both work from home. I don't have any reason to be a stalker, but it's great. We have the kids on there. We can see what they're doing. It's awesome. And she is driving now, but she is still in Raleigh, which means she's 2.5 hours away from home. And that means I got plenty of time to sit here and talk to y'all about Dennis DeYoung or taking a shower with Tommy Shaw. I feel like I have to tell that story now. I have to do this because it's been 2 hours. You hear me say that I took a shower with Tommy Shaw, and you're kind of like, I mean, in 2023, that's not outrageous to say. But it wasn't like that. I was at Virginia Beach. I was on the beach, and out of nowhere, Tommy Shaw walks by. And I'm like, are you kidding me? We're not in L.A. We're at Virginia Beach. That's Tommy Shaw. Didn't say a word to him. He just walked by. And I was like, that's the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. Had that experience with Rob Thomas, too, at the Washington Nationals game. That was recent. That was like a year ago, 2 years ago. So after that, I was leaving the beach. I had my daughter with me, and we were walking out, and they have those showers that you can get all the sand off of you at the beach. And so I walked up to that, and what do you know? Tommy Shaw walks up and gets in the little shower. It's one of those things where it's like a circle, and there's shower heads all the way around them. So I'm standing here cleaning the sand off of me. Tommy Shaw, the God, is standing next to me doing the same thing. And I leaned over to him. It's the only thing I said to him. I said, for the rest of my life, I'm going to be able to tell the story of when I took a shower with Tommy Shaw. And he was looking down, he was spraying off his feet, and he just went, never said a word to me. He just laughed, and then we walked away. And that was funny. And I've told that story probably 3,000 times. There you go. John, did you mail out my fish? I don't know. If you order Wednesday through Friday, no, we did not. Let me get to our orders and see if you're still in there. If you aren't still in there and we did send out your fish, then I'm a little concerned. And the internet is trash out here, so I can't really check it. Christy Ann, if you didn't get an email from us with shipping information, then we didn't ship it out yet. And it's because we wait 2 days and then we ship them. So if you order Wednesday through the weekend, it would be the Monday after that, because we can't ship it out on Friday because they won't deliver it on Saturday. Sometimes we ship on Thursdays, but it's not all that often. Somebody said, oh my God, you saw Rob Thomas. I'm obsessed with him. Yes, that was at a baseball game, Washington Nationals game. My daughter took me for my birthday. It was a bobblehead day. And it was in the 9th inning. I think the Nats were losing. Or maybe they were winning. I don't know. But it was a weeknight. We both had to work the next day. So I said, hey, let's start walking down and be near the gate when we leave. And it just so happened that we were at the gate, like, that was right next to home plate. And home plate is where the VIP section is, the Diamond Club at Nats Park. So we're standing there right next to the entrance and exit of the VIP seats that are directly behind home plate. And we're standing there on the concourse watching, and I see him from like 100 yards away, and he's coming towards us. And I recognize him from, I've been a Rob Thomas fan ever since Matchbox 20 came out. And I see him and I'm like, oh my God, that's Rob Thomas. I look over to my daughter, she's 24, but then she was, it was probably 2 years ago, so she would have been 22 or whatever. I knew she would know who Rob Thomas was, but I didn't think she would recognize him. So I leaned over to her and I said, hey, don't make a big deal out of it, but you see that guy walking up with that dark-haired girl? And she said, yeah. And I said, take a good look at him and just remember him. And she's like, why? You're being weird. I said, just trust me. Just remember him. And she was like, all right. So he walks by. He's the whole time walking, and I'm staring at him the whole time. Him and I, when he gets to me, we make eye contact. And he, I'm sure, knew I was kind of freaking out a little bit. But I wasn't freaking out. I wasn't like, oh my God, Rob Thomas. But he knew I was holding it in. And he looked at me in my eye and he just went like this. And to me, that was him saying, thanks, dude. Thanks for not making a big deal out of this. I just want to get out of here. I'm with my lady. I just want to leave. And that was it. And he moved on past. And when he was about 15 feet away, my daughter was like, what's the big deal? I said, that was Rob Thomas. And she goes, what? And she starts running, and I stopped her. I'm like, no. He's just here having a nice night out with his old lady. You don't need. What are you making that weird noise for? You don't need to do that right now. He's just out for a nice evening. Leave him alone. And she was like, ugh, because she loved Little Things and Someday and, a lot of his like super mainstream songs. She loved those. So yeah, that was fun. I was saying goodbye a half an hour ago. Vibes Aquatics says coffee break, y'all. Listen, folks, I really do need to get off of here because my throat's a wreck. I've got to clean all this up and feed the fish and then go put all these plants away. So I really do have quite a bit of things left to do tonight. So I got to go because it's 10:07 for me. Excuse me. What are you going to do? Oh, look at him. Oh, you're going to be so nice now. Oh, see, people see him and they're like, oh, he's so cute. You witnessed what he did. This is how I have to pick him up. Because I don't want him to bite me. You got to get down because I got to go. Oh, you're so heavy. All right, folks. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you for just letting me ramble. And I can't handle the crypts because we didn't get those yet. Now, when I said earlier, yay, they have the crypts, that doesn't mean I received the crypts. That means they have them available. So I'm going to have to put in an order tonight for them, which is another thing that I'm going to have to do tonight because who doesn't love crypts? I love them. You love them. They sell like crazy when we get them. So I got to order those. But the ones that I got today, I got to go put those away. 2 big giant boxes. It's a lot. So got to do that. Got a bunch of cats to feed because I want to help Lisa out. So that's going to be it. Thank you all so much. And this has been a lot of fun. I can't believe 175 people are still here. That's amazing to me. Thank you all for hanging out. I am a wreck. I got to go now. So thank you. And I will see you next week.